Hello, dear friends. On the internet, in WhatsApp, in messengers, people are now sending each other a lot of different kinds of scary, horror stories and negative scenarios that now, under the guise of fighting the coronavirus, we are all being chipped or vaccinated with vaccines that contain nanochips to digitize us all and turn all of humanity into a single electronic concentration camp. One must understand that politics and economics are like an ocean. It is an uneven and inhomogeneous mass. In politics and economics, there are always many different trends. And of course, those who want to drive humanity into an electronic concentration camp will try to use this situation with coronavirus for their own purposes. Someone proposes to solve this problem by running away from cities to villages, starting to live a harmonious, ecological, self-sufficient life, devoid of any ties with civilization. But excuse me, this will not solve the problem. Those who flee to the villages will simply be likened to the North American Indians, whom the more high-tech conquistadors simply shot because the Indians lost to them in technology. There are those who offer, having escaped to the village, to finally blow up all the power plants, all the plants and factories, and shoot all the sorcerers scientists, so that they never again create any technical innovations. So that humanity once and for all will irrevocably return to the distant pre-technological past. But excuse me, this also will not solve the problem, because if people do not learn to live in harmony with each other, wars will continue with bludgeons, stones, bows, spears, and so on. Moreover, if we say that we need to destroy all technologies and go back, it means that we surrender to them. It means that we do not know how to use technology correctly. And the question is, not to destroy technologies, but to start using them correctly. Now, we need to replicate a positive scenario. We need to create a positive agenda. We can say that now we live in a kind of war where there are two sides. One negative side is when technologies are used for the well-being of only a narrow group of people who try to use them to enslave others. And the other, positive side, is when we use technology for the common good, for universal well-being. And so, depending on which scale the public opinion is inclined to, this will be our future. I want to remind you that there is an interesting phrase. God has no hands in this world other than ours. I want to continue this thought, adding, and the devil also has no hands in this world other than ours. All good and bad deeds, all divine and diabolical deeds are performed in this world by our human hands, and it depends on our choice at whose disposal to give our hands, at the disposal of the devil or at the disposal of God. And even when we send each other some scripts, we strengthen one or another scenario. You need to understand that politics and economics are some kind of uneven ocean. In each ocean, there are many underwater, very different currents. And just as in international politics, there are, of course, forces that plan to enslave all of humanity. But there are other forces that are trying to build our common well-being. And the outcome of the battle depends on what messages, what information we are replicating to each other. You need to understand well that we are at a turning point in history. And it is clear that after the coronavirus, the world will not be what it was. Many financial schemes will be ruined and destroyed. Many business areas will go bankrupt. But this can be a good evolutionary round if we build a new, healthy, positive society on the ruins of the capitalist old system. I want to say that a return to the past, even in thoughts, means that we give up before the opportunity to solve the problem correctly. God never sends us tasks that we cannot solve perfectly, even if they seem difficult. And just as the current situation, although it seems difficult, frightening, it actually can and should be solved by us perfectly. Therefore, in order to decide how we all can live together as one big family, how to use technology not to the detriment, but for the benefit of all the people of the planet, I want to recommend you my new book, which is called An Alternative Globalization Scenario. It can be purchased both in electronic version and in audio version. Soon it will appear in bookstores, also in a paper version. Therefore, read this book, recommend it to your friends, and replicate not negative, but positive agendas for humanity. How can we solve this problem so that we can turn the planet back into a blooming garden?
Вместе мы сделаем этот мир лучше.